And, I mean, as we talk about all the time, you're seeing it yet again, specifically at the quarterback position. We'll go through all of this, though. You got a mock draft on ESPN from Matt Miller, their new draft guy. He's good at it.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the prime example of this quarterback class in particular and the volatility of opinion. I've seen some people, I think the consensus is that Jackson Dart had the best week at the Senior Bowl at the quarterback position. No Cam Ward, no Shedeur Sanders, but among the rest, he had the best week. Jay Milroe had the worst, was bad.
Yeah.
Frankly, probably lost money this week.
Yeah.
If nothing else. I've seen some people say that Dart played his way into the top 15, and then I've seen something like this. And so let's go through this mock draft from ESPN. I won't tell you everybody, but the notables, and then there are... So they did the first 2 rounds, and there's a bunch of Ole Miss players on it, as you can imagine. We'll go through it, give you some thoughts. He has the Titans going with Abdul Carter at number 1. That makes the most sense to me. Don't stretch for a quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Travis Hunter going to the Browns. Cam Ward, the first quarterback, off the board at 3 to the Giants.
They kind of have. They have enough pieces around.
They have to
get. They need a good quarterback.
Las Vegas also has to. He has them going with Shedeur Sanders at number 6.
It's just not the Raiders organization. I mean, I don't know. Although we haven't talked about it yet, but Chip Kelly. Kelly and Shedeur Sanders in the Chip Kelly offense is intriguing.
Yeah, and Ohio State was great this year, but how much of that is players? Chip Kelly's last few stops have not been good. He goes to Ohio State with the best roster in the country, and suddenly they're good.
National champions lose both coordinators.
Both coordinators, a bunch of staff members.
Yeah, and of course, a ton of players, too. We'll see.
Has the Jets passing on a quarterback? Has the Saints taking McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona?
Territoria.
I
don't even know if that's right, but we'll go with it.
And then you got to scroll, and you got to scroll a little bit. Has Miami, understandably so, passing on a quarterback? Has the Cowboys taken a receiver? You got to keep scrolling. You got to keep. Has the Seahawks passing on a quarterback? Which I don't know if you're going to get to 19 without the third off the board, but
seems unlikely.
Has them passing on it?
Seems unlikely.
You have to get all. Has Genty, by the way, going to the Chargers at 22. I'd be surprised if he's available at 22.
22 seems late for Genty.
Walter Nolan, the first notable local guy, 24 to Minnesota.
Well, that'd be a good fit.
That would be a really good fit.
Yeah, I think Nolan is going to continue to rise. Just elite defensive tackles. Sometimes you just take them and you just hope for the best. Yeah. I just don't think there's a lot of hope, though. I think that he's good. You don't have to worry about it.
And that's it for the first round. Only 2 quarterbacks, according to him, he thinks, going in the first round.
It just seems unlikely. If somebody is going to reach, and usually when somebody reaches, somebody behind them is like, oh, God, we better get one now. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll be surprised if there's less than 4. If you told me the over-under was 3.5, I would have to think long and hard about it.
I think I would go under, but if it was 2.5, I'd go over.
Yeah, I agree with that. There'll be 3.
Has the first pick in the second round going to Trey Amos with the Cleveland Browns. So he had a good week at the Senior Bowl, obviously. Has, according to one draft expert, shot up all the way to the 33rd overall pick. Third quarterback off the board, according to him, Jackson Dart to the Saints.
I mean,
at 40 overall.
You don't have to twist my arm.
If you're the Saints and he's available at 40,
you have to take him. You have to take him there. Yeah. That's insane value at 40, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially since apparently Kellen Moore is on record to not being particularly fond of Derek Carr as his future.
Well, who knew me and the coach of the New Orleans Saints had so much in common? I had no idea. But you telling me I can get Jackson Dart? I don't know if he starts year 1. I don't know if he's the opening day.
No, not with Carr, what he's getting paid.
Right, but if I can build around him, I mean, maybe you got like 2 years left with Kamara being really good. You've got Olave. You're talking about adding McMillan there. Taysom Hill has got a couple more years left. I mean, you got some pieces there.
Yeah. So Larry asks if we really think that the Saints would go wide receiver in the first round. I do think that they would.
It's if the right guy was there. If Travis Hunter was there, they definitely would. I don't think he can get to 9 though.
Mm-hmm.
So or 8 or wherever it is they pick.
Because the drop off after, frankly, Shaheed's great, but Olave and Shaheed are both, not small. Olave's not small, but
right. But
after them,
they need a big
nothing.
physical guy. Yeah, they don't have that right
now. Ewers going to the Jets at 42.
Okay.
I mean, I get it.
I get it.
I get it. You got to scroll a little bit more to get to, by the way, Quinshon Judkins, shout out Kirk Herbstreit.
Judkins.
Can he just not say his last name?
Well, he was going to say it, but he started crying.
But seriously, had nobody at any point had corrected him? Maybe he just can't say the word, and it's just like a mental block, because that's a real thing. That happens to people.
Yeah.
But he spent every meaningful Ohio State game that he called calling the dude Judkins. It's like, Kirk, somebody correct this man.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's weird.
52 to Pittsburgh. Princely, 53 to Tampa Bay. He had a good week in Mobile. Possibly didn't earn himself first-round pick money, but apparently did impress enough people to be basically across the board an expected second-round pick. There's good money in the second round, as you can imagine.
Yeah, that'd be a fine place. Good landing spot for him.
And Trey Harris, 61 to Washington. If he was healthy, he would be one of those risers into the first round with a good Senior Bowl and stuff.
You get him healthy and you put him on that Washington team with Jaden Daniels.
Terry McLaurin.
I mean, that franchise, it's insane how quickly they got things going as soon as they got Daniel Snyder out. That makes me think if the Cowboys could somehow get Jerry Jones out, they'd win 6 Super Bowls in a row. It's just sometimes you have a bad owner and it just screws everything else up.
No kidding. So those are your Ole Miss guys in the first 2 rounds, according to one draft expert. But man, the difference is crazy with how some people view this and some people don't.
Let's talk about Dart, because you and I are saying we both agree that there'll be a third quarterback.
I think there will
in the first round. So that's probably him, right?
It sounds like right now.
So where? Seattle?
Maybe Seattle, or maybe somebody trades up to the end of the first and to get him.
Who would that be?
Or somebody trades back.
Who would that be?
The Titans.
The Titans. Yeah, but the Titans, how much?
They don't want to give up number 1.
You don't want to give up 1. You're not going to get enough value. Because if you're talking about like trading back to like 20 or 21, you're going to have to get another first for that. And no, I don't think a lot of people want to come off another first. So, trying to think my way around.
Vegas could trade back maybe.
But that's still too high. At that point, trade back in.
The Jets could, trade the Jets
trade back
trade
in,
down.
Give away a second and maybe a first next, or give away a third and a first next year to get to like the 22nd, 23rd pick if Dart was still there.
The Saints could do it or trade down.
I don't know. The Saints, I don't know what they have for capital. They've been so weird.
Come off of 9 and get an extra couple picks down the road.
Yeah.
Something like that, I think, is the most likely outcome here.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh at 21, maybe?
That's an interesting thought. They have Fields. I don't know if they want to give up on him. I think Fields could be good if somebody gives him an opportunity. He's got some talent.
If you're a fan of Jackson Dart, 26 to the Rams is where you want him to go.
That's the best possible scenario.
Stafford's not going to be around much longer. He's already talked about it openly.
Yeah.
And I know McVay has also hinted at retirement a few times, but to be in the McVay system where you're not thrusted into the starting job, but there is an end date to the starter, that's where you want to go.
I agree. That's the spot.
A lot of maneuvering going to happen between now and the draft. That's your college football